So that he has said long back, and this is very important. This quote is really important even in the era of the futuristic technologies impacting e-commerce, that we must minimize the distance between the producer and consumer. Whatever technology progress is there, but if you follow this rule, then the your products will be really hit in the e-commerce market. So this is the conclusion what I want to draw my talk. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and with this I conclude my talk. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your very effective presentation, in-depth and knowledgeable speech. I think it's like a curtain raiser of new scenario of e-commerce. Thank you once again, sir. Now I invite Ms. Arundhati Kulkarni, madam, to share her experiences on application of technologies in e-commerce. Arundhati, madam.
Yeah. Hello all. Very good afternoon. And first of all, I would like to thank the entire management of Kamala College, Mudekar madam and Dr. Patil sir, and also Dr. Kamath sir for his very insightful presentation. Sir, I hope I will use some part of your presentation in my day-to-day life. It is actually a very good opportunity for me. I'm connecting for the first time with the students and the faculty team of any college. And I would have some request actually to you. First of all, whenever I'm giving a presentation, I will ask you some questions. So please try it and answer, or at least answer in the chat box which is there. This will help me to understand whether I'm online or offline also. And the second request is you can pop up any question at any time, and then I will try to answer the same as then and there itself. Otherwise, we can wait for the end of the session of the presentation. So with this, I would like to start my presentation. I'll present my screen. Yeah, so hope everybody is able to see my screen. Okay, so I'm starting. So this is the application of technology in e-commerce. So before I go ahead, I will give a little brief intro about what I do in Flipkart. So Kamath sir and even Rekha madam were talking about what will happen to Kirana stores. So in Flipkart, I'm part of Flipkart's Kirana store. That is Flipkart Supermart, which is a grocery business. So right now that grocery business is in only 10 cities. It has not captured the smaller market. And Kamath said, yes, we are expanding in the smaller cities as well. And in less than 2 years or 1 year only, we will be coming in Kolhapur as well. Flipkart has 3 businesses. We have large and furniture businesses, which is sofa, TV, bed, and very big items, which, transportation of that is not very easy. And it takes lot of space in your house. Then we have a large business that is mobile and electronics and fashion products, shoes, toys, and other general merchandise. And third is my business, where I work as a senior manager in supply chain design. So since I'm a supply chain person, I would be focusing more on the technologies which are used in the supply chain function of any e-commerce. So this is agenda of my presentation. I will tell you, Kamath sir has very beautifully explained the e-commerce journey so far, how the connected, and what is the future of those devices, where exactly from our home we can connect to our offices, etc. But I will give you a short brief of that as well. Then I'll tell you what are the e-commerce pillars, how our company functions, or any e-commerce company functions for that matter. This is a very generic presentation. It's not related to Flipkart. It's related to all the e-commerce companies which are there in the market. Then we have some e-tailers, supply chain network, what exactly, how exactly your shipments are coming to your doorstep. Then technology applications, what are the key areas where the technologies, then in supply chain, how are we applying it? And finally, I'll give you some examples about how, the different technologies are supply chain, not only in Flipkart, but all over the globe. So before, I'll go ahead, but can anybody tell me what is e-commerce? So we have heard a lot of things, and what is e-commerce, and what are, different type of e-commerce? Can anybody tell me? Or I'll continue. Okay, I think I'll continue. So e-commerce is basically any product or service which is purchased online. So e-commerce has, you can see here, there are different types of e-commerce. First is e-travel. So e-travel way, there is IRCTC, Yatra, MakeMyTrip, Ixigo. I'm sure all of you have bought or purchased tickets to all these platforms, booked your hotels through these platforms. So I'll give you one more insight here. So IRCTC is actually the first e-commerce in India which is successful and which could scale up. And I am proud of that thing, proud of that. And after that, e-commerce market is really open. Then we have e-tailing companies, which is Flipkart, Amazon, Big Basket. We have Swiggy also, Jabong, Myntra, etc. Then online financial services. So in that we have Paytm, Google Pay, Phone Pay, and our own SBI Yono Pay also. And there are consumer services. So there is Ola, Uber, Urban Company, Denso, and whatnot. So so some of you might not know what is Urban Company or Denso. So Urban Company is a company which has all the services such as beauty parlor, electrician, plumber, and physicians, etc. That those are listed in that particular application, and you can book any services, and the person comes to your home and delivers those services. Denso is a company which delivers anything from anywhere to anywhere. So, for example, if you have forgotten your mobile charger at your home, so you can book, you can ask Denso to deliver your mobile phone charger from your home to your working place. So that's how this consumer services are. And then there is a digital content. So this is a very big platform right now. We have Hotstar, we have Netflix, we have our own YouTube. There's a White Hat Junior. I mean, there are education apps also. There is White Hat Junior. Then there's Byju's, and even our own. So many colleges actually are making their own applications, delivering their own lectures. So those all platforms are the digital content platform. So as Kamath sir has explained that there is a huge growth in e-commerce. So these are some numbers which I have taken from one of the very popular site of McKinsey, and this is the published material. So this again does not come under the intellectual property. So from 2012, where the e-commerce segment was only 11 billion USD in India, it is a very small fraction, and you can see how it has grown 2017 to 36. That is almost thrice the size of from 2012 to 2017. Of course, there are certain factors such as penetration of mobile phones, penetration of smartphones, then connectivity, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now we'll be moving to 5G and 6G. The forecasted of 2022 is 105 USD billion market of e-commerce. Again, that is a thrice of what 36 is there. And of course, this 2020 has helped e-commerce a lot to grow, and technology penetration has been great, and numbers have been never before kind of scenario. So total growth in 2012 to 2017 was 27%, and it will be moving to 24%. The growth will be flatter then, is what is expectation, because by that time almost everybody will have the smartphones, will be super. So there will be no new market to penetrate. That is why this growth will be flat all over the after 2022. So moving on. So I'll tell you a little bit about, since I'm from e-tailing company, so I'll tell you a little bit about what are the pillars of e-tailing company and how a e-tailing company functions. So we have corporate, which deals with all finances, then balance sheet, and what will be our strategies. Then we have legal and practices team, procurement team, HR, mergers and acquisitions. Those are the corporate functions which any company has, and even an e-tailing company has those. Then we have a category and marketing team, which is again a very big pillar for our e-commerce company. So they do all demand study. They check if what are the trends of market and how we can how we can launch anything on e-business. So they do the SKU selection. What kind of mobile phones has to be there in on our platform? What kind of fashion has to be there in our e-com? Whether there are any other markets also wherein we can launch. So, for example, Flipkart has recently launched the bike oil of HP and others in their platform. Then they are responsible for buy sell margin, and they are, of course, they are responsible for online and offline marketing. So online marketing, it's Flipkart ads on YouTube, and then there is content generation. There are certain competitions which are going on in Flipkart. There was TikTok ad of Flipkart also. So all those things, category and marketing is team is responsible for. So this is actually not a pillar. This is a backbone. So I'll talk a little later about this. And this is the final leg of Flipkart or any retailing company, which is supply chain. So we are the one who are responsible for delivering the product from the sellers to your doorstep. We are responsible for logistics and supply chain cost and the customer experience, which Kamath sir was talking about. Now coming to this technology and product team, this is the backbone of any retailing company or any e-commerce, because they are the ones who are giving us all support related to technology. They are the one who are designing the website and application. The big data management, which Kamath sir was talking about, is all done by them. Analytics, they are running on all the analytics, and they are supporting all these functions. Okay, so they are not so anything which is coming from corporate, this is the strategy that we have to follow, and category and marketing team does all the demand study and SKU selection, etc. And they are the one who are putting everything on the website and application, doing the data management. They are also designing the internal and external products for Flipkart. They are the one who are helping us with automation. And finally, which Kamath sir and Rekha madam also insisted, is cyber security. So this is actually a IT company within any retailing company. I'll move ahead. So this is the supply chain network of any retailing company. I'm explaining all these things because I'm relevance on this, how the technology is applied in all these pillars. Is something I'm going to explain in the presentation. So, so now let's assume that some of you are ordering mobile today from Flipkart. There is a sale going on in both the platforms, that is Flipkart and Amazon as well. So let's think that some of you have ordered a mobile from Flipkart. Okay, there are a lot of companies who are selling the mobiles. Samsung is there, then there is Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus. So all of them are our sellers. Now from sellers, on the basis of future predictions and the forecast, we decide how many of those mobile items are to be bought in Flipkart. So Flipkart does not manufacture anything. Flipkart has its own the same as that of Amazon, but both the companies are not manufacturing anything. They are a marketplace kind of a model wherein they are selling the products of other companies to the customers. So we have private labels also, but that is also another company. And so every mobiles are coming from seller base to Flipkart or any, for that matter, any company's warehouse. So this warehouse is a central place for multiple regions. For example, there is only one warehouse in the western side which caters to Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and some part of Karnataka also. So, so let's assume that you have some of you have bought the mobile phones, and all the people from this area, that is Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, some people have bought the mobile phones. Now, those all mobile phones are picked in this warehouse, and then they are sent to that is a region-wise facility. So in one state, there could be multiple mother hubs also. For example, where there may be one warehouse in Pune and one warehouse in Nagpur. So Pune warehouse is catering to demand of Konkan area, West Maharashtra and Central Maharashtra, and this Nagpur mother hub is catering to Vidarbha and Marathwada. So now your mobile has come from Flipkart warehouse in Bhiwandi or any warehouse in Bhiwandi to Mother Hub in Pune. And from Mother Hub in Pune, it is then gone to a district place where there is a delivery hub. So your mobile, which is there in Mumbai warehouse, it has gone to Pune. Now from Pune, it has come to one delivery hub of Kolhapur. And there could be multiple delivery hubs. One is Sangli, one is Ratnagiri, etc. And from this delivery hub, again the shipment is splitted. There the bikers or the van of Flipkart which is coming, the delivery persons which are coming, so pin code wise that has been sorted out in this delivery hub, and that is delivered, that shipment is now delivered to your doorstep. Now, if you find that mobile is good, you will accept it. If you find that mobile has some problem, then you will send a return. So return, again, the wishmaster or the delivery person is picking up the mobile phone. He's sending it to delivery hub. From delivery hub, it goes to return center. Now in return center, we check the shipment which you have sent, whether it is a correct shipment or incorrect shipment, whether you have sent a correct phone or you have sent a brick inside. That is checked completely, and then only your refund is processed. If the shipment is incorrect, then they will not process your refund. From return center, it again goes to Mother Hub, and then it goes to warehouses. We have some marketplaces wherein seller are directly sending to Mother Hub. This is the supply chain of overall any e-tailing company in the market right now. So now I'll ask this question once again: what is technology? So you can give me an answer in Ranchod Das Chanchar style also. What is technology? Can anybody answer? Don't look at my screen, but can anybody answer? Yes, any one of you? Or at least, message me. Okay, I'll keep on going in my presentation. Okay. Okay, so technology basically is a machinery and equipment developed from the application of scientific knowledge. So technology can be anything. It can be biotechnology, it can be nanotechnology, it can be IT, big data, anything which is there. But for this presentation and in context of e-commerce, technology is combination of hardware and software which reduces human efforts and improves business parameters. So with this note, I'll take you through the next slide. What are the key areas where any e-commerce company is applying the technology? So there are only three key areas where any e-commerce company or any company for that matter is applying the technology. First is the customer engagement. So what Kamath sir was explaining, if you search anything about in Google today, then after 2 days Google will give you suggestion for that product. For example, I have searched sari 2 days ago for my Sankranti celebration, and now Google is giving me suggestion for saris and places to search nearby for good saris. That is called as customer engagement. It is it's a digital marketing and other strategies to engage the customers. There are multiple ways to engage customers. One of them is there is a competition which is going on to click a selfie and then upload it on an Instagram, and you can then meet Virat Kohli or you can meet Shah Rukh Khan, whoever is your favorite actor. This pillar is to ensure that customer is sticking to your platform. He is not ordering from any other platform, and that ensures this kind of customer engagement strategy ensures the customer stickiness to platform. Then there are digitized solutions. So digitized solution is basically businesses going online. So best example is today I'm giving you the lecture. It's a digitized solution for your business, for the Kamala College also. So in a regular scenario, I would have come to your college, there will be some felicitation or you would have given me some bouquet, but all those things are eliminated. And I can, directly connect with hundreds of participants from your college. That is a digitized solution. And last one is the operational backbone. So you must have heard of this technology called SAP. It's a very old technology now, old in the sense only 20 years old, but it is old technology, and there are multiple courses for this SAP technology. So what SAP is doing is, before SAP, there was a lot of paperwork, and company or departments of the company were not connected. So there was a gap of information flow. For example, if I have Dell procurement team, to have 100 mementos for my upcoming event, then procurement would have bought only 90 because there is a communication gap. Now in SAP ensures that all the departments are entering some data into the software, and then they are correct procurement or correct business is happening in the correct business is happening. So technology can be applied to make your operational backbones stronger. Now going ahead, what are the key areas of technology application in supply chain? So I am a supply chain person, so I will focus more on the supply chain. So what are the key areas? So Kamath sir has said ki there are so customer experience thing in any e-commerce business, which is true and which is true for supply chain also. But there are certain areas. One is cost reduction. So you are getting the free deliveries. These deliveries are not actually free. So we incur some cost to give a better customer, that is free delivery. But we have the targets to reduce our costs, cost of supply chain, cost of delivering the product. So there are variable costs. So serve one shipment. There are fixed cost, and there is a supply network cost. So so we route this entire supply chain. How exactly are we routing it? There are costs associated with those also. So cost reduction is the primary thing which we focus as a supply chain person. Then the speed. So I'm sure some of you have Amazon Prime membership, which delivers you in one day. So in tomorrow, in the futuristic technologies, Kama sir has also said that there will be a focus on how fast your delivery or how fast the products or services are reaching to your doorstep. So tomorrow you will be probably expecting from all the platforms that delivery will be there in only 1 hour or 2 hours. So speed is another area where we can apply the technology. I'll have all the examples for this parameters also in the upcoming slide. Reliability. So we have certain supply chain parameters or the business parameters, and there's a huge amount of data that has to be maintained, so for tracking the shipments or for the payments, etc. So there also we can apply the technology, and reliability is the most important factor for us, because cost, okay, sometimes cost can go up, sometimes cost can go down, speed sometimes can go up and sometimes can go down as well, but reliability is most important. If you don't get the package itself, then you will be very unhappy, and then you will probably not buy again from Flipkart. There are certain incidences wherein you want to order a green colored dress, but you have actually got a red colored dress. I'm sure probably you have never ever ordered from that particular site again. So that reliability factor is very much important for us. Now safety. This is an emerging factor. It was not there earlier, but it is now emerging factor. Now we are moving from startup cultures to actually a business construct wherein safety becomes a crucial thing. Safety of people and safety of our inventory as well. So suppose tomorrow we do not have the CCTV, then our safety of inventory is totally on toss. So and then there will be a pilferage, there will be stealing from the warehouses, etc. So safety and of people and our inventory is a primary thing for us now. Finally, customer experience. All of us have talked about it, whether it is Kamath, whether it's Rekha or me. So customer experiences, right product is delivered at the right time at the right place is most important. It's a key factor for us. And there are delicacies involved, such as now Amazon and Flipkart both are giving alteration services to you. So if you have a XL shirt order and your size is L, then the person is coming to your doorstep and he is giving you the alteration services. So there are other customer delicacies also wherein we can apply the technology. Moving forward, I'll give you the first example. Let's keep it. Kamath sir talked little bit about Google Glass. Here is the glass. Here is the actual application of that glass. So this is a warehouse of Coca-Cola. So you can see that this person is able to see everything in his glasses. He's carrying 2 or 3 different products on his pallet truck that we call as. Now technology is telling him where to go. 28 countries. So technology is telling him now he's speaking also. So that Google Glass as well as that headphone that he is carrying, he's checking it. That barcode is scanned. And the correct barcode and product is also scanned by him. So basically, it is beautifully guiding in the warehouse how to navigate and what product is to be put where exactly in the warehouse. So moving back to my presentation. So what was a business problem statement here? Okay, again, I'll move to this slide and tell you. So what was the business problem statement here? We wanted to increase the productivity of people. We wanted to reduce the cost.
Madam,
Yeah.
Madam, your video is not visible. Can you share once again?
Okay, 1 second. Okay. One second. I'll represent. Can you see my screen now? Hello?
Yes,
Can you
yes,
see
madam.
YouTube now? Yeah. So Coca-Cola. And using smart glasses and augmented reality, a warehouse for picking activities. So Coca-Cola basically altogether has hundreds of products, and the warehouse size probably is of 5 acres of cornfield. So it is difficult for a person to identify which exactly what product exactly has to be picked and where it is to be picked from. So it is difficult to navigate in the warehouse or in this facility of Coca-Cola. So what this glass is helping is, now you check here, how this glass is helping him. So you've seen that he's saying exit and that view is gone now. Okay, now he can clearly see where exactly has to be gone. So what happening here is basically he's carrying a headphone also, and there is a Google Glass also attached to it. So it is that glass is giving you instructions where to go in the warehouse, turn left, turn right, etc. Glass is saying, and once he arrives at a correct location in the warehouse, then the glass is asking him to stop. Once he's stopping, the glass, he's saying that switch on the camera. Once the camera is switched on, then he's scanning the barcode of that particular product, and then he's scanning and he's then picking the product. Now, once the product is picked, he's also saying how many products he has picked. Probably he said some 22, 23 there. So how many cartons he has picked. So automatically warehouse now knows from this particular location, there are 22 cartons of Coca-Cola product. Coca-Cola variant is taken and it is being shipped to another facility. So this is a Google Glass technology application in a warehouse facility of Coca-Cola. Yeah. So what exactly has done? What exactly has happened in the business scenario here is the productivity of people. Otherwise, it's very difficult to find the product, and otherwise, it's very difficult to go to that particular location also, because there are thousands of people working in warehouses. So it helps to navigate manpower and 2.25 lakh square feet of the area. And then the productivity of people is at toss when you do not have any navigation system, or you do not have any system in place altogether. So this has helped, the business to increase the productivity. What are the factors that are affected? One is cost. Of course, the picking or the warehouse activity has become very fast. The speed is also increased, and reliability. Picking the correct product at correct time is, has been improved because of this solution. I'll quote some numbers here. So cost, if we apply this technology, it goes down by 10%. Speed, it increases again by 12 to 15%. And reliability, I will not even question, and I will not even quote those numbers, because reliability is very high with this technology. The technology uses IoT, image and voice recognition because of this, and this augmented reality, because he is able to see on his screen what is there in the warehouse exactly. So this is the one example of technology application in a warehouse. Now I'll show you the different examples. Okay, now he is in the previous video, you have seen that there is a Google Glass, and a person is going and picking the product, and then he is, shipping it, and etc. Now, human interface is completely eliminated in this particular technology. This is called as ASRS, that is the Automatic Storage and Retrieval System. And the process is really fast, but it is expensive. So I'll show you how it is helping out. This is a truck after doing any inbound, going from the truck to the conveyor. Conveyor is a hardware. It is automatically going from conveyor. It is scanning the shipment. This is a shipment scanner actually. From here, it is directly going to shipment. Here the system only says where exactly the product should go. So system knows which pallets are empty, which location is empty, and system will automatically ship this particular shipment into the particular position in the rack and in the location. And system automatically confirms also, and system knows now where exactly what inventory is placed and how much is the quantity. That is automatically known by system, artificially intelligent system. The system know that this pallet is empty, this place in warehouse is empty. It's automatically send it there. Confirm. There's no human intervention. There are no accidents. There's nothing. So again, system, when the customer is ordering something, then system again knows where and what product exactly is to be picked. So it has gone up, fetch that particular item from the warehouse, and then it is simply going and getting delivered to the shipments. So it's a very effective technology for us. It is helping us to manage our inventory better. So again, the business problem statement is, for a large warehouse, effective manage of business processes to meet the target delivery time and target cost is very important. Again, I'm emphasizing on the size of the warehouses that we have. So we have a facility of around 5 acres. We have a facility around 10 acres. There is a facility of 15 acres which is coming in Kolkata now. And it is very difficult to manage all the things with the manpower only. And with the expectation that companies or the customers are having in place, that there is, delivery should be in one day, or exact that particular product has to come to us. So it is difficult to have dependency. That's why this particular technology has been introduced. I'll show you one more video with this problem statement only. This is a Flipkart video, and Flipkart has recently launched some automation. This is not that one. Okay, you can have copy pasted the same link. Flipkart automation. Yeah, this is the one. You see, these many packages are coming in Flipkart every day. Thousands of packages. Lots of mobile phones, lot of dresses, shoes, books, millions of products on a day. And this is a big billion day sale. So basically what has happened is the problem statement or the mobile story, which I was telling you about how the mobile is delivered. So there are multiple pin codes. So this is a Mother Earth facility. So there are certain pin codes of Delhi, there are certain pin codes of Mumbai, Kolhapur, then Jamshedpur, some other parts of India. There are multiple shipments are there. And what is the person is doing, he's simply picking that product and placing it on one of these cobots. Cobots is a technology, even Alibaba and Amazon, etc. are using this. They are putting it on these cobots or robots. And robots automatically know which bin is for which pin code, and it is automatically sorting it out and sending it to that particular bin. So now when the energy of this cobot is down, this is a mechanical equipment altogether. This also needs to get energized or recharged. So when energy is down, the technology, this robots will automatically will come to this charging place, automatically charge themselves, and then again go back to work. So it is like a human only. Whenever we are hungry, we go to some place, some restaurant, or eat our dabbas, and then we can restart our work. Same ways the cobots are doing. What is the outcome of this? There is no human intervention, and correct. It is sending the shipments to the correct pin codes. So there is no loss of shipment of anywhere in the system. So this is the second example of Flipkart. Continue with the video also. %60 improvement in the efficiency of introduction of pin codes. So earlier there was, so there are around there are more than 10K pin codes to which Flipkart, Amazon, or any retailer company works. Now, very limited pin codes are there where the e-commerce penetration is not there today. So you can understand to serve those many pin codes, to have so many bins, and then going a manpower and picking up that particular product from a correct bin is very difficult. That's how They have solved this challenge, and what they have generated is a 60% improvement in their reliability factor. So that is how there was a business. So in a company, what we do, how we apply technology is a very simple phenomena. There is a problem statement which we have to solve. Okay, and then we search various technologies, what different technologies are available to us. We do a cost benefit analysis of those technologies, which is more suitable for us, that we buy. We check the customer experience and also check how difficult is it to implement the technology and how fast we can improve our parameters. So that's how we select a technology in any company, not only in Flipkart but in any company. The speed is 3x fast of that man. The technology uses RFID conveyors. There is AI, artificial intelligence. There is a WMS also. Multiple technologies are talking to each other. The parameters which are affected are cost, speed, and reliability. And moving on to the next example, this is a route optimization. There is no video to it, but I'll explain you the business problem statement. To increase the delivery speed of the delivery agent. Now we have some delivery. So what is the speed of delivery? Speed is basically how far the time between the order a customer placed till the delivery of shipment at its home, at his doorstep, is the speed. And the e-commerce or when e-tailing companies was started, that time was around 15-16 days. So the Flipkart says the story. So Flipkart and the founders of Flipkart were actually Amazon employees, and they started their own business, which was not existing in India at that time. So when they started this business, they started it with a book, and somebody ordered it, and then they personally went from Flipkart warehouses. There was no Flipkart warehouse at that time. They personally went, bought that book, and delivered it to the doorstep of the customer, the first customer of Flipkart. And it took them 2 months. Now, that 2 months, it's not practically possible with all the businesses and all the customers right now we are having. So obviously, the expectation is increased from 2 months to earlier it was 1 month. Then it dropped down to 15 days. Now it has dropped down to 7 days, even faster. 1 month, 1 day. Now there will be expectation of 2 days. So how to solve that problem? So this is the story of something between from 15 days to 7 days. So what exactly happened is we captured the data of all the we, in the sense, any company for that matter, we captured the data of delivery. We asked you to enter the address, we asked you to enter the pin code, and then we asked you as a customers to make sure that this is the correct pin code, make sure that this is the correct pin code, and we asked to reorder the stuff, so that pin code data is a very strong data with us. Then we run a data analytics models. There are different big data, which Kamal sir was talking about. There are different data models we ran on. Now the Wishmasters or the Flipkart delivery boys or any company for that matter, they know where exactly how to start their order sequence of ordering. For example, my home is in Rajarampuri. There is a next home of me who has also ordered something. So system knows that my home comes first, so my delivery has to be first, and my next home's delivery has to be the next delivery. So this is how we have sorted and solved the routing problem of Flipkart. And we have also sorted. So this starts from where exactly should be our mother hubs, where exactly should be our warehouses. From there, it drill down to where exactly has to be the sorting centers of Flipkart or the delivery hubs of Flipkart. What model should there be a biker going or should there be a van going? That all those things are integrated in the route optimization. And today the Wishmaster doesn't have to apply his brain while delivering. The system knows where exactly and how exactly the route of customers is and what exactly products are to be delivered. So this is a route optimization problem that we have solved. So technology used here were simple analytics and data modeling, and the parameters which were affected were speed, cost, and reliability. Now, how cost is affected here is earlier the Wishmasters were moving randomly. In the sense, the delivery boys were moving randomly. So first it will deliver to lane number 1, then it will go to lane number 3, again come back to lane number 2, go to lane number 4. So that zigzag path has been sorted to 1, 2, 3, 4, and the cost of travel cost of that Wishmaster, the petrol or the bike expenses of that particular Wishmaster or delivery boy has been reduced. So that is how this route optimization problem has been solved in the companies. An example 4 is OTP and codes. So earlier, and there was no OTP or there was no barcode scanning of any e-commerce companies. But this is a recent technology and this is a recent improvement that we have done. Is earlier there were a lot of loss of shipments. The customer, if it was not available, then it was delivered to the neighbors or delivered to someone else, delivered to relatives, and customers did not get their shipment and customers were unhappy. So what we did is we introduced a barcode or a OTP here and OTP here. So now today, if you order something, there is a barcode comes to your mobile phone also, and the delivery person asks you what is the barcode which you got on the mobile. So unless and until you tell him the barcode or someone from your relatives or anyone tells them the barcode, the shipment is not delivered. That's how we have safeguarded us as well as the customers to for the loss of their shipments. Technology is a simple barcode scanning and there is a data which is stored. And what are the parameters affected? Customers are more happy now and Flipkart is also safeguarded now. There's a cost reduction because then if the shipment is lost, then we had to pay the customer to increase the customer experience. So that part is safeguarded now. Then there is a real-time social distancing. And now this is a very interesting video which I got. We all social distancing was of paramount importance in all the in the current scenario of COVID-19 pandemic. So in the first or second lockdown, this was pretty much even more important than what it is today. So how to do it? How to maintain the social distancing in a in a place of 1,000 or 2,000 employees? How to maintain the social distancing? So this is a video. Amazon has managed the social distancing and the COVID-19 pandemic. Just look and explain maybe later. They have distributed the mask. This is, I think, implemented everywhere, the temperature guns. Now this, look at this. So you see a green color circle around a person. So there is an application which Amazon has developed. It is there in the person's mobile. Person is carrying a mobile, and there is a virtual circle which is created to 6 feet distance of his entire perimeter. So this 6 feet virtual circle is created. Now he is walking on an aisle. Okay, I'll go back to that green circle and I'll explain you what exactly happens there. Okay, so now these are the two green circles. So if this person and this person is not within the range of 6 meters of each other, then the circle will go turn from green to red, and a warning letter is assigned to this person and telling that you have breached a social distancing now. So there's a show cause notice given to this employee. He will have to show a cause, he or she will have to show a cause why you were going close to that particular person and you should not go. After 3 consecutive warning letters, automatically there was a termination notice. So this is how beautifully they have managed the social distancing in the current pandemic, and thankfully there were no cases and no death threat in these facilities also. So this is how it is helping us in the sense of Flipkart or Amazon or any particular e-tailing company the safety of human beings. There are other technologies also. So in our pallet trucks, etc., we are having some RFIDs. If both of them go together, again some beeping is coming. So that way the people are not going to each other, and if there is something falling on other person's head, then again that warning is coming that something is falling, then the beep is coming, and then person can move from here to there, and person can simply run. So those technologies are there, and thankfully we are able to help the accidents because of this. And the accident rate, which was there earlier close to around 2-3%, which is now reduced to 1%, thanks to all these technologies only. So technology used here is AI, and there is a sensors, and parameter affected is safety, because safety was a parameter in lockdown. Now this is a cookbook. So this is a idea which is generated by me, and it is under implementation, where I still show what exactly happens here. So business problem statement is, I want to make customers more happy than what they are. I want to give them some delight. What I can do to make them more happy. So how I can do it? Shop all ingredients of your favorite recipes on a single click. This is a Flipkart interface. Grocery is not there in Kolhapur, so this interface you may not have right now, but it is there in major cities of India. It's there in Mumbai, Pune, and other cities. So now there is a order. So there is a menu list here. Okay, and I want to order something. I have a mood of having vanilla cake or some sweet today. So I went here. I clicked here. Okay. Now there is a list of all the sweets which is coming here. Out of that, I want to have a vanilla cake. So now vanilla cake, if I simply click on this, there's a vanilla sponge cake. It's coming. There's a video associated how to make a vanilla cake. There's a recipe which is coming down. And there are all ingredients regarding to this vanilla cake. I can simply add or subtract them and create my cart, and it is delivered in 1 or 2 hours of what I in Bangalore. It's not there in all cities, but it is delivered in 1 or 2 hours from where I'm placing the order. When I'm placing the order, what has happened is I'm happy. I want to have something. All the ingredients are there, and if something is missing, I can simply add and I can use it for another recipe also. So I don't have to go to a local shop and buy something, and then if something is not available there, then I have to go to another local shop. Those all problem statements which are there, which are particular to metro cities such as Bangalore or Mumbai, are now reduced, because in a metro cities such as Bangalore, there is a lot of traffic, and accessibility to small stores is very less. So this is how we have solved a problem statement. Now this is the last example I'm having. This is a chatbot. This is a very common example. This is the technology is called as AI/ML, and there is a RPA, that is robotics process automation. So earlier, if you remember, in the era of 2005, 2006, if you want to lodge a customer complaint, then you have to call the service center. The service center was giving you a message, okay, you are 7th in line, you are 15th in line, you are 2000 in line, you have to wait for 15 minutes to have the service center person replying to you. And then again, depending on the person, sometimes our experience was good, sometimes the experience was bad. So now how to solve this? And Flipkart being, or any e-commerce company being such a big giant, and they wanted to grow very fast, they had to solve this problem at any cost. So what they did is they introduced the chatbots. You can see it everywhere in all the e-commerce platforms that are having. It's there in Google Pay, it's there in Flipkart, Amazon, Swiggy, everywhere. So what do? You enter a message here, where is my order? If it's a standard query, where is my order? It will straight away give you the example. It will straight away give you the status. Now this order has been shipped. It has been moved from here to here. Now it will come from here to here, and that will be delivered in 2 days to you, 3 days to you. Where is my refund? Then it will automatically tell you where is your refund. And over and above this, if you are not happy, then it will route you to the call center. This is how the response time of customer, which was 2 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes earlier, it has been reduced to only 1 second or 2 seconds. This is how they have solved. What exactly affected here is customers are happy, but we are also reducing on our costs, and we are acquiring more and more customers because we are having good customer support in our systems. So this is all my presentation, and yeah, there has been a lot of discussion around what are the gains and what are the pros and what are the cons. My view on that is, in conclusion, my view on that is technology is present, future, and it was the past also. Technology is going to keep changing, but technology is going to keep changing, but we will still have some technology in our hand. And more the technology or more will have more the problems, and more again we'll be able to solve it. There will not be any manpower elimination which we used to think earlier. So that's it. And thank you for listening to me. And over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Arundhati Madam, for sharing your experiences of actual functioning of the technology in each and every field of the e-commerce. Your impressive presentation and very lively speech definitely proved to be beneficial to all the participants. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
Now
ma'am.
the topic is open for discussion. Participants can ask their queries or questions if any.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I would like to ask one question. Various sites or distribution sites provide discount on various products. Are they real, or they are for marketing purpose?
Okay. So to answer this, yes, they are for marketing purpose, but they are real also. Marketing marketing purpose in the sense it is for acquiring more and more customers. But the products are not fake; they are genuine products. We buy it from the vendors, we buy it from the brands, and we share some losses for those products. So Flipkart or Amazon or any e-commerce, their business model works like that. That they are having some another business. For example, Amazon is having Amazon Web Services through which they are generating the revenue, and it is giving some discounts on Amazon website to ensure to gain more customers. So that is how this business model is working. The discounts are real. It is for marketing purpose, but they are real.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Now I call upon Ms. Rode Madam to conclude the webinar by proposing vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I am here to propose vote of thanks on behalf of Internal Quality Assurance Cell and Commerce Department of Tararani Vidyapeeth, Kamla College. I would like to thank Dr. R.K. Kamath sir for guiding us on this techno-based subject in such a way which will really help us in our academics as well as day-to-day life. Now I present my sincere thanks to Ms. Arundhati Kulkarni ma'am for providing information about application of technology in e-commerce, which is useful for both customer as well as the producer or the middle chain working behind this. Now I take this opportunity to thank our chairperson, Honorable Principal Dr. Krantikumar Patil sir, for his valuable support. I also thank Honorable Secretary of Tararani Vidyapeeth, Mr. Prajakta Patil sir. Here I would like to thank our Principal Dr. Tejaswini Mudekar ma'am for supporting us while conducting this webinar. I thank Dr. Varisha Mendargi ma'am, whose distinct ideas and management skill made the webinar so special. I also thank the organizing committee and Kamla College teachers for their assistance. Last and important, I thank all the participants for live and enthusiastic participation. Thank you one and all. The link for the feedback and certificate will be shared on WhatsApp group. Thank you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you so much, ma'am.